Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Michael Hession, joined by Michael Landis and Jackson Tortone. And right now, we are recapping the first 2 weeks of the 2023 National Football League season, which so far has been as good as advertised. Gentlemen, I'll ask you this. 2 weeks into the season, with all the chaos going around in the league, which is typical considering what's happened the last few years, which teams do you think stand out above the rest in each of the 8 divisions? Let's start out in the AFC East, where last year's champion Buffalo Bills sit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say that the Bills are going to be that team to win it again this year. And I think a lot of people were very worried after week 1 after their very bad performance against the New York Jets, where they lost 22-16 in overtime. But this week, it started off bad also. They were down 7-0 against the Raiders. People were like, oh my God, is this going to be the downfall of the Bills? But that stopped. The Bills won 38-10 right after that. They outscored them 35-3 after being down 7-0. This Bills team is back. I don't know why people thought that this was the Dolphins division anymore or that the Jets were going to come up and take this. Josh Allen is still going to be that guy this year. He had 274 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, over an 80% completion rate in this game. He is back. He is ready to go. And I have the Buffalo Bills on track to take this division again. Once they play the Miami Dolphins, they are going to dominate. And just wait to see it. All right, my next team is going to be in the AFC South. I'm going to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this division. This is a team last year that went from having the worst record in the NFL in 2021 to making the playoffs, not only making the playoffs in 2022, but winning a playoff game. They're the first team in NFL history to ever do that.
And a huge comeback at that.
Oh, yeah, against the Chargers.
I mean, what was it, 4 interceptions in the first half for Trevor Lawrence?
Exactly.
An immense comeback.
Absolutely. And I think when you look at the Jaguars this year, what they're building, they're doing it the right way. They're building around Trevor Lawrence. They're making the offense very strong. They made a great trade for Calvin Ridley that I was really happy with for them. I mean, you give Lawrence his number 1 guy. This is a team in a very weak division with 2 rookie quarterbacks. You talk about C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and then a fading off Ryan Tannehill. This division is the Jaguars for taking. They could have this for years right now if Trevor Lawrence decides to play up to his expectations.
And so I agree with your pick. And honestly, I don't even know if they need that good of a record to win it, because they could probably win this division with a 10-7 record, given how weak it is. Yeah. The Titans are simply not the team they used to be. And of course, the Colts and the Texans, they're just not good at all.
Yeah.
And yes, Trevor Lawrence is improving each year. He's starting to look more like his Clemson form. And yeah, I definitely see them winning it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think I'm going to switch it over here to the AFC West, where it's going to be a clear-cut choice again. It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Year in, year out, Patrick Mahomes is still that guy. Today, he just restructured his contract to become the highest-paid NFL player in a 4-year span. Do I think that was the best move for the Chiefs? Maybe not for the team overall, but they got to give it to this guy who actually became the 8th highest-paid quarterback after all these massive deals that were coming in the AFC with guys like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. It was nuts. But anyways, going on to the Chiefs, they're going to win this division again. The Chargers are 0-2 to already start this season. They just do not have good play calling. Their defense is not stepping up. And Justin Herbert can't do anything about it.
And I feel bad for Herbert. Brandon Stanley is a horrendous head coach, maybe the worst in the league.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm going to agree with you.
Exactly.
Kansas City Chiefs have a real coach. Andy Reid is a coach that cares about his team and also knows what he's doing and will always be able to produce a winning record at least. And I think a winning record will get them the division this year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we don't even need to talk about it. And then the last team that we're going to talk about is in the AFC North. That is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're absolutely winning the division this year. There is no question. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are off to a very slow start. 0-2 is not like them. It's not like Joe Burrow, especially after his massive deal to be playing at the level that he's playing. But I think that with Lamar Jackson back and healthy, giving him the weapons that he is, they drafted Zay Flowers. They got Odell Beckham Jr. in free agency. Mark Andrews is healthy. When healthy, this Ravens team is competing not only for the AFC conference, but they're competing for that 1 seed. They can keep themselves up. They can compete with any team. They can go up against the Chiefs. This is their division to lose at this point, I'm honestly going to say. I don't see the Steelers competing for it. I see the Steelers maybe going for a wild card. The Browns might be off to a hot start. They're not taking it all the way. Right now, this is the Ravens to lose.
I think this division is going to be up for grabs just because of the AFC North in general, but you're right. I think the Ravens are the favorites, at least for right now, but in this division, anything can really happen.
So Mike, I want to go back to the East for a little bit. I do have a disagreement with you. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to take that division purely because the offense is completely out of rhythm right now for the Bills. I mean, obviously yesterday, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a bad relationship between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen that's going to carry over and kind of ruin the morale a little bit.
Okay,
And Josh Allen is kind of a overdoer, if you will. And I think that he produces a lot of turnovers, and that will cost them against a team like the Dolphins. So I think Tua is off to an amazing start, and concussion prone or not, he's doing extremely well. And if he stays healthy, Dolphins will take it for sure. All right, and I also disagree with you on the North. So the Ravens right now are definitely looking like the best team in the first 2 games. However, the Cleveland Browns have that it factor. They have Nick Chubb, and this guy is crazy good. Like I watched him play. This guy is insane. And Deshaun Watson didn't perform extremely well against the Bengals despite the big win. But I think he'll improve as the year goes on. And I think that the offense will eventually get a rhythm to it to where they can compete with the Bengals again. They can beat the Steelers and maybe even the Ravens. And I know they're the sleeper team in that division, but I'm going to go with them.
I think when you look at the Browns, there's a lot of question marks on that team. You know, we don't know how good Watson's going to be. Like their defense, even despite looking good against Cincinnati, they still have question marks around the board. They're the biggest wild card, not just of any team in the AFC North, but really any team in the AFC. Because when they're on their game, they're a dark horse contender. If not, it's typical Browns.
For sure.
That was the AFC. Now with the NFC, there's more undefeated teams than expected, which leaves me this question. Just like with the AFC, which NFC team in each of the divisions do you think has the best chance to claim a home playoff game?
So for the NFC East, I'm going to have to unfortunately go with the Dallas Cowboys. They have a plus 60-point differential right now in the first 2 weeks. They completely dominated the Giants, embarrassed them, humiliated them, and then they dominated the Jets defense, scored 30 points against them, and that's one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, Dak is avoiding turnovers. He's completing his passes. He completed, I believe, around 80% of his passes against the Jets this last game. And of course, they have the running back Deuce Vaughn, who I'm very high on. I think he will continue to perform just like he did at Kansas State. And of course, that defense has been immensely powerful. I mean, they have been a force to be reckoned with. They have given up a total of 10 points on the season, and it's comparable to the 49ers, who I'll mention later. Now, as far as the South goes, I'm going to have to go with the Atlanta Falcons. They played an extremely good game against Green Bay, who was another decent team in the league, and they had, I believe, around twice as many yards as them in the game and ended up winning by 1 point. But Bijan Robinson is going to be one of the top running backs in the league. This guy will finish probably, I'd say, top 5 this season. And despite the not as good quarterback play and the defense being maybe around middle of the league, that run game is going to give them a huge advantage. Another weak division, which is the NFC South. And if I'm going to move over to the North, this is going to be one of the toughest ones because it comes down to the Lions and the Packers. Vikings and Bears have not shown any sign of being any better. Defense is not there. Offense is not really there. But I'm going to have to go with the Green Bay Packers. I think that Jordan Love has had 2 very solid starts for the first real starts of his career. And I think that with Aaron Jones being healthy when he comes back, with Christian Watson coming back, with Jaden Reed, with Romeo Doubs, with the new guy Luke Musgrave from Oregon State, I think that this offense is just immensely powerful. They will dominate pretty much any half-decent team. Maybe not be able to beat the 49ers or Cowboys, but they will be able to tear up most defenses. And the defense will be a weakness, but we'll find out. And as far as the West, I got to go with the San Francisco 49ers. Probably still the number 1 team in football right now, let's be honest. Brock Purdy moves the ball. He gets it down the field. He doesn't have amazing numbers, but he's clutch, and he gets it down there. And that's what's important. Of course, he has Christian McCaffrey, the big boy. This guy puts up amazing numbers. He showed it at the end of last season and the beginning of this season. He's probably the best running back in the league right now. We're going to be completely honest. And of course, Debo, always a clutch receiver, always a guy you can go to. George Kittle, another top tight end in the league that you can always rely on to pick up yards.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to absolutely agree. The San Francisco 49ers are easily the best team in the NFC conference, and it's just not even close. I mean, in their division, they're easily going to win. You got the Seahawks, you got the Rams, you got the Cardinals. Cardinals could be the worst team in the NFL this year. Seahawks are catching up. They're trying to make the playoffs. Rams are trying to make a comeback this year, but the 49ers overall.
And they're looking very good. They're going to compete with the Niners.
No, they are. They're just too dominant. But going on for me, I'm going to move over to the NFC South over here, and I'm going to change it up with my winner a little bit. I'm going to say that is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think that they're going to be the difference makers this year. Nobody believed in this guy, in Baker Mayfield. Nobody thought that he could come back and lead this team to the playoffs. And look, I know they're nowhere near it yet. It's the start of the season. They're 2-0. But He has looked amazing so far. He's connected with Mike Evans, with all of his receivers. He has looked great. And I think just give him the confidence and let him roll with this team. I think in this division, you're looking at a weaker division, again, like the AFC South. AFC South and NFC South, two of the weakest divisions in the NFL.
For sure.
It's all up for grabs right now. It is all for grabs. They have a very solid defense. It's still going, and I believe in them. And then my next team that I'm going to go over to is in the NFC North. I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to disagree with you again. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. And I think that Jared Goff is going to be the reason that not only the Detroit Lions win the division, that they can make it up to the NFC Conference Championship. I'm going to go as far to say that.
Now, did that guy star in the Barbie movie? Just tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. Did this guy also make a Super Bowl before?
Yes, he did.
He may have, maybe, yeah.
He may have, and he may have played terrible in it. But he can still be that guy for the Lions. They're going to make that next step up this year. Aaron Rodgers is gone. I got the Lions winning it.
I agree with you. It's going to be a runaway because of the 49ers, but that's the great thing about football. It's the great unknown. Anything can happen on any given weekend in the NFL, and that's what makes this league so great. So the NFL season is going to heat up real quick, and we'll see just how well our predictions hold up. For Michael Landis and Jackson Tortone, I'm Michael Hession. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.